week. I'm going to share this as well, right? Hang on a minute. Right then, guys. Walsh Appening. It's been a while. I haven't done one for a while. I'm joined with Smudger, Dean Smudger Smith, my buddy. Here he is again. How are you doing, Smudge? You all right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just getting through life, you know. Just doing what we do best, you know. Struggle and strain, but get there in the end. Nice to struggle.
We're getting through it, and we just about, I'll be honest with you. You had, I don't know if the viewers, if the viewers can just let us know the sound's coming through all right, and hopefully the sound is coming through well. We've got a couple of viewers on, so just get interactive, guys. Let us know if you can hear it. So yeah, basically. Fucking hell, well, there's been a lot of shit going on in there. You were doing, you've entered a new venture. You're doing a bit of commentating. How did that go on Saturday, mate? Tell us about
that. It was different, different sort of, I don't know, just vibe, just a different sort of vibe. It was weird having to wait to talk, and then obviously trying to not talk over each other with the microphones and.
Yeah,
you know, it's all about timing, isn't it? Just like anything's about timing. So, and obviously the noise in the background, just trying to clear all dead noise that you don't need, and it's quite a difficult job. But I found it a bit wobbly to begin with, a bit shaky. But as time went on, it got a little bit easier. A few little mistakes here and there, but we're all human. We're going to learn out of it. So it was good, nice, enjoyable. Yeah, Gilly's really good as well. Gilly's a good man. He, a few times he was trying to save me without thinking that I needed to save him by then.
Yeah. No, you've done well, mate. I mean, the thing is, right, you're the right guy for the job. Like, you've got a lot of experience. You've been in there plenty of times. I mean, they're the people they want to be getting in.
Definitely, man, definitely. I mean, it's not just obviously experience in the ring. It's the knowledge of the understanding of being in the ring, not just anyone get in the ring.
Yeah.
And then we can train for years and not understand, you know, what they're feeling and why they're feeling it, and you know, actually break down the barriers as to why you struggle in some cases.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does make sense, mate. It does, definitely. I mean, and that's the thing, though. It's, you know, you bring a lot of. I know there's so many people from the commentating side of things. They'll bring different aspects to the game, but I mean, I would have thought the most important aspect of all is somebody who's been in there. Experienced it, and I don't just mean like a one-off, like, you know, you've fucking done it for years. Do you know what I mean? So you've brought that to the table with it, you know.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, it was nice meeting a lot of people there last night as well. There was a few faces I didn't expect to see, and a few that I did, and every one of them, you know, I got a really nice warm welcome, which is nice because, you know, some of these shows you only get one or two people that you don't really quite like, or they don't quite like you, and anyone like that. But last night, I got on with absolutely everyone, which was it was great.
And I was shout out to Ben Hatchett. I've had Ben Hatchett on the podcast. He put his opponent away pretty quick. It was the fastest knockout, wasn't it? It was a quick knockout.
I think you run at him.
Yeah,
he run at him and caught him.
And it was so.
He was down the line.
He's got a baby on the way as well, so shout out to Ben. I'll have to catch up with him again. But so, you know, the main fight at the end was a big one as well, wasn't it? Do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, we'll do. So it was a guy called Valentin Vartier from Germany, and it was against another guy from over here, I think Bolton, or Blackpool, somewhere close by, anyway, on the west coast. And he's also called the Viking. They're both called the Vikings, and obviously they had a bit of needle about who's the best Viking.
Yeah.
But Richie was on the back foot straight away, and he got dropped a couple of times by Valentin, and then he just had a great comeback for the next 4 rounds, and then got to the fourth round. Next 3 rounds. In the fourth round, Valentin come back again.
Yeah.
And then it was just back and forth, mate. Probably one of the best fights I've seen when it comes to the heavyweight division in BKB, and possibly even in boxing, because the shots they were throwing were so rapid.
Yeah.
And the amount of shots, the volume of shots was incredible.
Relentless.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'd be speaking about the Richie Leak, which is the British bloke. He's now the European title holder.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll give you the first-hand account of what he felt and what he did in there.
Well, yeah, if you're watching, Rich, it's going to be a pleasure to have you on, mate. I look forward to that. Yeah, because Scott McHugh had his fight organisation on the same time, wasn't it? So it's like I sent Scott a voicemail earlier just to say congratulations and hope everything went well, and he fought on his own card as well, didn't he? And he done well.
He did. He fought with a bare knuckle fighter who's obviously have a go, and Scott put him away in no time. A little left hook and a right hand. His uppercuts are absolutely sick, you know. He's got some lovely wicked sick power in his right hand when he throws that uppercut.
Yeah. I mean, no wonder his knuckles are like when he's throwing at that fucking... His hands are in a hell of a mess, isn't he?
He seems to just wreck his knuckles every time he throws his hands.
Yeah.
Luckily, he don't throw them at doors like an angry bastard like some people do, because if he did, there'd be a lot of broken doors, a lot more broken knuckles.
Oh, God, yeah. So, I mean, I noticed, but Daniel Lurwell's posted 2 legends. Hey, Dan, you're a legend, mate. I hope you're doing well. And I hope to catch up with you again shortly, you know, get you on the podcast again, hopefully, mate. So if you've got time, drop me a message, mate. I'd love to have you back on. He's a legend now.
Brilliant bloke. One of the first people I met at the BKB show, actually, and we just had a giggle, and I was just making him laugh all the time. And you know, one of those geezers that you just can't help but like.
Yeah, he's sound, and you know, with the stuff what he's doing, you know, fighting for autism, it's just amazing what he's done, mate. You know, his story's amazing, and fuck, what a solid bloke! Like he's fucking solid, like. He's solid. His power in his hands. Yeah, mad.
I was good to see him and Anthony Holmes having a fight.
Oh yeah,
this is a fight game, and I couldn't choose who was going to win. And I didn't want to put him into it anyway, because it's not my style. But I will say that it was good to get 2 of the best in the ring.
Yeah,
shame I'm friends with bro.
I know, mate. That's the thing. When they were coming to get, I was thinking to myself, I just don't know who's going to fucking win. Like, I was thinking to myself, it was one of those you just knew you were going to see 2 fucking tornadoes just crash, and you don't know what's going to come of it. And
that's the best part, isn't it? When you just can't decide. Even if you wanted to, you just think, well, no, maybe not. And then you just couldn't decide that. You can't do it.
You couldn't decide. I couldn't decide. You know, it's You've got to take your hat off these boys, you know, and yourself as well. They go in and they lay in it all on the line, like, do you know what I mean? It's a lonely place in that ring cage. Any fight in sport, it's just you.
Yeah,
it's you. It's a lonely road.
I don't know. You know, it is a lonely place. Don't get me wrong, it is a lonely place. I think that the hardest part, and I've always said this, the hardest part is getting to the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you're in there, there's no escaping anyway. It's the truth teller, you know. You think about you lie or you like before you get to the ring. Once you get in the ring, like any lie gets them covered, you get them covered.
Yeah.
So I think that for most fighters is the scariest thing. You know, the loneliness is cool because you do it by yourself regardless. But the other thing is you got no one there to save you. I think that's you know, and in your own mind, even if there's someone there outside you in the ring, they still can't save you. I mean, they throw a towel in, but you know, they can't come in for a punch and give you advice.
And
therefore, as much as it's a team effort, you need to make sure that you're, on the way to that ring, that you understand that when you get in that ring, there's no escaping. Whatever you've done before, and that's you.
No.
That is you. You've done everything you can do.
Yeah.
So
it's only you, isn't it? With team sports, it's a different thing altogether. Like you've got other people you can rely on. If you make a mistake, it's not so noticed. But it's you and them in there. It's a different story. Like
I feel I like to look at it like a dance, a bit of poetry. It ain't make a movie. It's all a big long a fast game, a chess. But I think if you think about the fight too much while you're in there, that's when you start to fall apart because you can't think about when you're in there. If you do, then you're gonna lose yourself.
Yeah.
Just let it flow naturally, and if it does, then the fight. Even if you lose, then you know that at least you fought with your heart because that's when you're involved. You fight with your heart.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's do you miss it at all? Do you miss?
Yeah, of course I do. That's why I spar as much as I can now. To be fair, I spar with my students. Not many coaches do that, I don't think. But I spar with my students, and I actually let them hit me with certain shots that I know they're going to throw that can maybe put me head out for, and then critique them whilst I'm doing that, which is quite a nice thing to do because if they catch you with a shot that you didn't expect to get caught with because you didn't know they were going to throw it that well. Because if I don't fight like most of the fighters. I didn't fight like most of the fighters. I'm not a conventional fighter. I had me a little bit of style. So I'm teaching people how I fight, which is what I'm doing in essence. I'm not teaching the bog standard basics. Not basics, but I'm not teaching that route. I'm not being generic. And because of that, I can't teach them how to defend from me because, I teach them how to defend from other people because that's what I'm normally used to doing, defending other people. So when I'm teaching them how to defend, and I don't know how to defend by myself, they're going to catch me with them shots. And when they catch me with them shots, I praise them because I say, you did what I asked you to do, you caught me. And I can't defend against me because, I don't know how to defend against me. I don't ever fought me.
Yeah, you're training them to fight in your it's I bet, I suppose that's a different way of looking at it. You're teaching them to fight in your style, so you're technically going up against a mirror of yourself in a way. You train them. So, I suppose that's a bit different, isn't it?
It's quite an ironic thing, really.
Yeah.
But to spar with them is nice because when you start seeing from them little van rights, and you step into the left, or you step into the right while throwing a jab and stuff. I just think, man, they're getting it done, and it's all good praise to them. So, and that's when you're making headway with the coaching. But I'm actually stepping into doing a bit of managing now. I've been speaking to some people down at the show last night, and I know quite a lot of bare knuckle fighters. So if there's any fighters out there that want me to get one of these shows that are actually interested in bare knuckle and they'll have some training, because I'm not about to start putting, people have done like, I don't know, 1 or 2 fights and just come straight out of fucking kebab shop. Then it's not going to, you know what I mean? I don't want to put my name to the fighters that aren't interested in fighting passionately.
Yeah, so if there is anybody interested, where can they go? How can they get in touch with you? Do you want to let them know?
Message me online on Facebook, mate, or Instagram, whatever. But
hit them up on Facebook.
And, I'm looking at putting a bit of a collaboration on with Scott McHugh at some point soon.
That'd be good.
Say Scott McHugh. I'm hoping Scott McHugh is, but if you don't, then I'm still going to do it anyway. So
that'll be good.
A bit of my own show, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, brother? Hang on, mate. I was trying to start this. How about you? I ain't asked how you're getting on, and how the
what's been going on with me?
Yeah.
Right. Basically, this is where I'm at with what's been going on with me. I obviously, whoever follows the podcast, they know I suffer with depression, and I've talked about that in the past. I had a few issues. I lost like 2.5 stone. I didn't know, like, I wasn't dieting. I was just losing weight, like. So I knew. Did it help you?
Did it help you?
No, because I was losing it through the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
right? So I wasn't training. It was stress. I thought it was stress. A bit of everything, really. Fat, muscle, everything came off. So I went to the doctors. They basically said, they sent me for CT scans on my stomach. So I was thinking, right, for a start, I was thinking I don't want to be up the fucking hospital at the minute anyway, right? So I went, had CT scans on my stomach. They said it was clear. But then they came back then. They called me back and they said, we found something on your lung. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So it's not a quick process, as anybody knows who's been through that. So straight away, I was thinking the worst. They sent me for another CT scan. That was a bit of a wait again. And then they basically only found out last week, really. They said, look, it's not cancer. It's sarcoidosis or something it's called. Basically, going to be looking at like steroids for life and regular scans and stuff. It's the lymph nodes or something that go down from the esophagus into the lungs, and they're swollen. They don't know what causes it. I thought it may have been my vape, but it was nothing to do with my vape. They said it's nothing to do with, there's nothing scientifically proven that it's anything to do with vaping. So, yeah.
There's a lot of chemicals in vaping now. There's a lot of chemicals in vapes that people got to get, seem to be bothered about it. A bit of ignorance, but it's one of those, I think the vape oils, there's a lot of substances in there that haven't been, or chemicals that haven't been fully tested.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, when just put them, I don't know if you've seen them before, I used to do them steroids in capsules and stuff at the local gyms.
Yeah.
And they was released, and when it was released, they was left on the shelves for a certain amount of time, so they got tested and they got recalled and then just changed the name.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but I could imagine there's a possibility that it goes down that same road, because there's a lot of there is a lot of acids in there.
Yeah.
If you're burning something with flavours in, then it's unnatural.
Oh yeah, I mean, anything you put in your body that's not supposed to be in it. And I mean, I suppose you can look at that with anything which is quite relevant, but we're not going to go into that.
No.
We won't go into that.
What I'm getting is it's so widely used, so it's so commonly used.
Yeah.
And obviously it's like a replacement for cigarettes now. We don't really think they're going to replace cigarettes with something else, do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just another fad. It's just another way of getting you hooked on something new, something more shiny and modern. It's a modern way of smoking, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Love it.
Well, the thing is, this is why they clambered. And do you know what made me laugh, right? I fucking cracked me up. When they started going nuts, right, that all these people are vaping, and then all of a sudden they're like, it's dangerous. I'm like, you fucking silly twats are still fucking selling tobacco to people. What are you on about? Like, as if you cared about. The only thing they were panicking about was they were losing out on tax. That's the only thing they give a fuck about. They didn't care about people's health. They're still selling fags now. It cracks me up, mate, honestly.
Never going to stop that, is it? Well, just so you know, I'm only trying to raise a bit of awareness that, people think they're doing one good thing from stopping a bad thing. They're not. They're doing, probably, I don't know if it's even must. We never know, do we? We could never tell just yet. It's, they're not been out long enough.
Yeah.
I don't think to.
No, it's
a bit like testing things, not testing things at all.
Yeah.
They either do or they don't, and most likely they won't.
Yeah, no, like they're more than happy for, like, have you noticed they don't really give a shit about vaping anymore? Now they finally got their claws into the tax side of it. They don't give a fuck. Like, they're like, whatever.
It's all about taxation. Well, taxation's an illegal charge out there, an illegal.
Yeah, fill your boots now. Like, fill your boots, guys.
Fine, whatever. There's more like a fine out there.
Yeah.
For working, or a fine for being a decent model citizen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm not a role model citizen, because it's my ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, this is it, though.
You feel right now then?
I'm not right. I think it's just been a mixture, mate. It's been a mixture of obviously worrying, like, having that hanging over me has like massively made me withdraw back into myself, really. So I'm noticing as well, since he's told me the signs of what it is, I'm finding myself like taking deep breaths, and it's only since he's told me the stuff that to look for, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, I have done that for a bit, but I just put it down to I haven't really done any training for a while, so I've probably gone unfit. But I think that's what it is, though. It's like when I say a good sentence, I find myself like, do you know what I mean? So it's,
yeah, I'll get it.
But it could be, I don't know, like, am I noticing it now because he's told me as well? Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah, now you're aware of it.
You plant
aware
the
of it.
seed.
When it happens, it's there in your mind straight away. Yeah. So now it's a fucking constant tick, isn't it?
Yeah. So, you know, obviously there's been that stress with, I mean, that's probably been the biggest stress. Well, I don't know, mind. There's loads of stresses going on. There's the stress with all of the shit that was going on at the minute as well. So that's another thing. Which
we're going to keep it away from that tonight. Best we can.
Like this is how restricted it is, though, right? You can't even talk about it. Things get pulled, like, so that's why I'm tiptoeing.
All I'll say is to all those listening, those that are wanting a bit more of an informative decision, go on to gov.com and start searching out these things. It's all been released by the court. I'm not saying the names and say stuff. I'm saying it's all been released by the court system. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it, and you can find it there for yourself. So those that, I don't want people to believe us. I want people to research, and then one of them won't believe me. I just want to have a question to themselves. So you know, it's coming out now, and we did say this was the revelations, and the revelations are revealing and unveiling the lies and the masks and the veil. So the veil's coming down, motherfuckers.
Like, hopefully, like the only way I can think is like I just think I think the way everybody's getting drawn into things is, and this is the way I've tried to like sort of rethink the way things are said. Really, sometimes we are all, and I said this on my thing the other day, we're all human beings, right? That's what makes us different from animals. We are a species that thinks, feels compassion, feels love, feels regret. You know, let's not forget all of these things that make us humans. Like, do you know what I mean? Listen, if you want to do something, you do it. It's your choice. But let's all remember that we're all humans and we all have got choices we want to make. We're all watching different films. Like, you know, Joe Blogs down the road may have had a different experience with somebody. You've got to watch how you say it, but everybody's had different experiences. You can't have a go at somebody because they've experienced something different to you. You know, it's
perspective and perspective, isn't it? You know, you're going on about emotion there. I'd like to elaborate on emotion, because emotion is the key thing here, and it's absolutely the key thing, because like, so everything's energy, like everything. Nothing you can see is not just energy, it's all energy. You can't destroy energy. Energy has to go from one place to another. It never just dissipates and goes nowhere. It goes somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, the action, reaction. So if energy is everything and emotion is the thing that creates what we have through energy, emotion, then everything that's created is either created with hate or love, with a bad intent or a good intent, with a feeling of good or a feeling of bad, with a conscience or without a conscience. So literally, when we're living now, whatever feeling or state we're in, if it be hate or love, or it be a subcategory, or anything to do with that side of it, I don't know, anger, jealousy, greed, all that stuff I spoke about before, then you're going to create only hateful things, or you're going to be in a hateful state, so you can only manifest bad things. But you see, if you're in a love state, then you can start creating, you know, divinely, positively. And if that's the case, then that's how they get to us right now, by controlling our emotions. And they do that they do that, passing some energy on in a good way. So literally, there's a book that I was trying to search for, actually, to do with the understanding of fear, and it's about the nag. The nag, or they call it the nag theory, where to teach children how to nag, to get parents to get annoyed, and then parents give in, but it also creates something else. There's obviously energy, emotion. So if that parent gets angry and annoyed and pissed off with children nagging, they're going to give them what they want. And the thing that they want normally is not a good thing. No. And therefore, you're creating a bigger issue. But not only that, is when the women and men watch TV, and they watch this TV, it puts them in a fear state through the emotional realms of the subconscious. We start to create through hate or love, and mostly it's fearful, it's hate, and it's all the other stuff that we don't like on TV that creates it. And you don't even know they're doing it to you. It's just subliminal messages through symbolism and flash frequencies and such. So right now, guys, while I was watching, but if you're in a hate state, then you're definitely not you're not vibing high, you're vibing low, and anything you want to do will not come to fruition. And if you're in a low state, a high vibe state, then literally you're going to start creating better things. You're going to start having better people around you. Start to repel the bad people that are in your life, because they can't just stick with you. They can't hang around you. They can't vibe with you.
Like, it's so difficult, right? It's so difficult because I talk openly about my depression. I talk about it a lot. That's why I started this podcast. You know, that was the whole driving force behind why this is happening now. But it's so weird because you can't do anything to counter it. And I was thinking to myself, I didn't even know it was coming on until it was like bang. And I was thinking to myself, I'm telling everybody they need to talk. I'm telling everybody they need to be open. And then next thing you know, I don't even see it come in. And I'm like fucking locking myself away. I'm like, I don't want to speak to anybody. And then it just makes you do all the shit that makes you deteriorate and go worse. You can't control it. You just can't, like.
Well, I'll add to that as well. And obviously doing the stuff I've done and being where I've been doing, my sport and having people come over you and tell you that you're this and say that, it's hard to take sometimes, because if you've got a low self-worth or you've got a low fucking view of yourself, and even people like myself that are quite confident and comfortable with self-doubt, we've got put on me as
Right,
so when I'm
hold on, you cut off then. You cut off in a second. You froze.
All right, where did I get to?
You basically said like a low self-confidence.
Yeah. So some days, not really, most, from middle of the year to the beginning of the year, obviously mostly, getting out of it now, and we're all depressed. Just so you know, everybody's depressed, even though let's say they're not depressed with all the money, all the cash, all this, all that.
Yeah.
They're depressed because they're still searching for something. Because, well, if you weren't searching for something, then why would you be living?
Yeah.
We're all looking for something, but it's not just that. We have something called regret. Now, I'm going to elaborate on that as well. So, regret in your mind is bad, because it keeps bringing up old memories and old memories of the bad past that you can't let go. Now, to regret is to re-greet, because gret means greet. So when you re-greet the thing that you're regretting, at some point, which you have to, because when you regret it, you have to re-greet it. You learn from that thing then. If you don't learn from that thing the second time, keep doing it, you keep getting a regret.
Yeah.
And every time you're regretting, you have to keep going back and learning these lessons. But if you don't learn it, you keep forgetting it. So
it's like touching something hot. Touching something hot, you burn yourself,
Yeah. Don't regret it. Just know not to touch it again.
Yeah.
Don't go, fucking wanker, man. Start calling yourself all these names under the sun and blast, and blast yourself to the fucking ground saying how much of a dick you are. Put your finger in chalk socket by accident. I don't know. Whatever it is you're going to do, whatever mistake you're going to make, just fucking accept it, man, and move on. Yeah. We just talked about this before about letting go. And it is hard to let go, even I'm still struggling with some of my past, Obviously, I've made some mistakes, and I'm trying not to regret them. I'm trying to look back and learn from them.
Yeah.
And another way of doing this is, I've figured this out quite recently, so a few little tips for people. If you write this stuff down and you try and remember it the best you can, if there's someone who you know that was there at the time, they can maybe put a bit of meat on it as well. And then you look down and see exactly why you did the thing you did, what the situation was, who was involved, all the things that you need to put in there, all the elements. And then you look at it from the view that you're at now. Maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But you'll find that you've progressed quite a bit since then. And then you can start to let go of that regret, because you start to see why you did the things you did. And you can accept that you did them, but you learn from it. Or you become stronger, or you become less jealous, or you become more happy in some way. But either way, you did the thing you did for a reason.
Exactly. I mean, it's another thing I said as well when I put that message up, just to say, Merry Christmas to everybody, to thank everybody, and just to explain that there's been some issues and that's why I've been off. But it was like, we can all get through this, and look, nobody's all going to be on the same page with anything, right? But the important thing to take out of all of this is we all need to stick together, because it's us against, them at the top at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. They aren't us. They don't look at themselves as us. They don't. They are a different. They think, you know, they're the farmers and we're the fucking animals. At the end of the day, they don't even look at us in the same way. So we need to just remember that we are all together. It doesn't matter how different our views are. You know, at the end of the day, I don't think there's many evil people out there. There is evil people out there, you know, but a lot of people can class somebody as being evil, but it's just a different belief. But, you know, you both caring humans, like, just use logic behind it. You know what I mean? We're not evil. Nobody's evil. Everybody's got empathy. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to just try and work together. Like that's the key to it. We need to stick together. Yes, we need to understand that everybody's got different beliefs, but you don't have to hate the person. Like, it's turned into a thing now where everybody's got to hate somebody if you haven't got the same belief. I'm like, where the fuck has that come from? Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. If we were all the same, what a boring place.
Well, that's what they're trying to do, isn't it? By making us all believe the same thing. They're trying to turn us into robots, but we're all believing the same thing. Where's the conversation? We all wear the same thing. Where's the conversation? We all do the same thing. Where's the conversation? Because what do we talk about? We'll do anything different. That's what they want as normal. They keep saying, let's go back there and get back to normal. They want normal to be generic, like we're all normal. And that means that, well, you'll wear an orange top, same as me, and I'll go, nice orange top, and say, nice orange top, and that'll be done.
Yeah.
You won't even say that. You just go, well, what would you want them to say? What would you have to say?
Yeah.
You won't have to say fuck all. That's the problem we've got now. I mean, I spoke about this the other day about being generic and wanting to be someone else. And when you can't be someone else, you start to beat yourself up, because you can never be that thing you want to be when it comes to your body. You are born how you're born, and it will advance how it advances.
Yeah.
When you try to change these parts, what you do is you create another problem, because when you add this stuff to you, it becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
Then it gets to the point where you look back and you go, I think I've done too much now. How do I want to do it? Because there's people do it out there. You know, like people have sex changes. You know, there's a massive suicide rate for people who have had the full shebang done.
Yeah.
Because your body goes into a confusion state, because you did all this stuff through ego, through being told, yeah, you should go do this, you should go do that. I'm not saying that, you know, some people out there do really feel like they should do it, and they're doing it without influence, but most people go, I think I should go get this done because I really do want to be one. They go, yeah, go do it, and they're like, oh, yeah. And then what will happen then is they go through it, and then they go for the next stage. When they get to it, finally the body rejects it, they don't want to be it, and then they become depressed, because finally realise that they can't have children, and they can't do this, and actually
put it this way, mate. I'm so indecisive, mate. A fucking sex change would never be on the fucking cards for me. There's no fucking chance. I can't even decide on a takeaway, mate, let alone cutting my fucking gonads off.
Tell you what, mate, you have to have some balls to do it to have a sex change.
Yeah, there's
you get that idea. So that did you love that then?
What's that now?
You have to say what, mate, you have to have some balls to have a sex change.
Oh, fuck. You have to. Well, no, you don't have to have balls. It depends which way you go in. It depends which way you go in.
Either way, you have to have some balls first.
You have to, technically you have to first, but that's only if you're a man going to a woman. What if you're a woman going to a man? I mean, fuck, I can't keep up. I can't keep up with it. But listen, like, I'm all for anybody doing whatever they want to do if they've thought it out properly and things like that. My disagreement with this sort of subject comes with when they're doing it to kids. And it's like, hang on, that kid's just a child. The child doesn't know. Fuck, I don't know what I want now, let alone when I was a fucking kid and I was saying, I want this, I want that. You know, it's a bit dodgy. And then the other side again then is leaving men who've transitioned to women compete against women in combat sports. I mean, fuck, what's going on with that?
Well, was one of them still had his testes and that, and went in and because it was discrimination to say, well, you can't have your pits cut chopped off and you can't be, but they go, well, you can't ask me that because it's discrimination, and now they identify as a woman, so it matters to chop everything off. Yeah. That's quite fucking dark.
Well,
that's like, hang on. That's like me, right? Going to school as a kid and battering one of the girls at school and going, I identify as a girl.
Yeah.
Shows you a bit. No? Well, that means that men can just get away with going on beating women up. I mean, they do it a lot anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, like, it's blurring the lines a lot, isn't it? I mean, it's proud in the fucking lines. It's open for manipulation, like.
Go listen to Prince, New World, a song from, I think, the 80s. New
What
World.
is it? Say it again.
You
cut off a bit then. Say it again. Listen to what?
I said, go listen to Prince, New World, the song.
Oh, yeah.
And then listen to the lyrics.
Listen to that.
He speaks about when the lines blur between boys and girls. That's when we're going to enter this brand new world.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, see, he was a bit of an out there character, wasn't he? He like dressing up a bit, like.
Yeah, I don't know if.
Is it true he had his ribs taken out so he could suck his own dick? I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the rumor, isn't it?
What's that? It's gay.
Took his ribs out, didn't he? His lower ribs so he could suck his own knob, like. Apparently,
I don't know about that.
I'm Marilyn Manson, apparently.
If he was gay or not.
Yeah, no, but I don't know if he was gay. He was just
sucking his own
dick.
Quite flamboyant, feminine type. I'm not saying he wants just.
Yeah, I don't know.
Feminine, but
I don't know. Like, was he gay? I don't know.
I don't know. But the 80s was a massive psyop, you know. Massive psyop for like Boy George Michael.
Yeah, there was a big movement then, wasn't there?
And it was to promote that as being cool.
The fashion and stuff, like. There was a lot of the fashion. There was a lot of the fashion things were makeup, and it was.
You're right, the part of it, but they called it fashion, but it was just transferring people from one to the other, you know.
I suppose normalising, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know this, but the HIV virus has never been isolated, which means that they've never actually proven it's there. And then the HV2, is it? Can't remember, HP2 is it? Or PV2, I think it is. But one of them anyway, one of the other ones. They haven't been isolated, which means that they've never actually been confirmed as being passable or being actually a thing, unless it's,
well, that
sounds a bit fucking madness, but they use the gay narrative to push it, saying, it's from having unprotected gay sex through the blood, mate.
It didn't come from that, did it? No, it didn't come from that. It apparently came from animals, didn't it?
It come from injecting the African people.
That doctor found. I don't know if I should say his name, but the doctor that begins with an F in America. He was the one who was responsible for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to be careful with what you say. Like, I mean,
I think it come from the polio. I think it come from spraying metals in the sky, and then they give them. What happened was this is my understanding of it. Spraying metals in the sky, which created a sickness over in Africa. And then they went over with a polio jab, saying it was polio. They injected the polio jab into these people, and the polio jab had the HIV in it.
Oh fuck! Yeah, I've heard this, and it's the same. It's all linked with what's the same people who are in charge now.
Yeah, because and I'm going to breeze straight over it. Because that also passes the same as HIV, and therefore having fornication passes it on. Yeah. So if you're having fornication, only someone would have the back. That's that way in protection quick time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Somebody's written on the comments, but and I haven't forgotten about it. But Ken Baker, I don't know if you're still watching. He's asking Mandela effect ? So that's we're going to talk about the Mandela effect now. Basically, the Mandela effect. Well, you talk us through it. I can explain it, but let's leave the smudge explaining.
So Mandela effect is where a group of people believe one thing happened, and a group of people think another, or believe another thing happened, and they've both got memories and recollections and images in their mind of the thing that they believe in that happened. But yet, if you go online or you ask some people, they can't give you the answer. Like, just for instance, Luke Skywalker, I'm your father. But now it says, apparently, no, I am your father. It doesn't say Luke Skywalker or Luke. And then you've got, like, for instance, here we are, Looney Tunes and Looney Tunes. Now you got Looney Tunes Academy, which is the young ones. Then you got Looney Tunes and Tunes. And if you go back and look, same as, and it's there. You know, you can find this information, and there's people out there that will say that they've seen one or the other or both. Yeah. And I remember seeing both, but you can never really tell because you remember it's kind of blurred.
There's so many things that this has happened for. There's like the Ford badge, the Monopoly guy, the rectangle thing on his eye. Apparently, he never had the rectangle.
Tinkerbell over Disney, when she comes to the front and has a wand.
Yeah.
And that never happened, apparently. And then the basis of the Mandela effect is it started with Mandela, Nelson Mandela, dying in the 80s in a prison cell, or getting out, is it in 2000?
Yeah.
And becoming an hero of the people. And I remember him getting out, and some people remember him dying.
Yeah.
But who's right and who's wrong?
So what actually happened with Mandela then? Did he die in prison, or did he get out? I don't know.
Well, I think he got out. I mean, if you look online, and there's other people that have screenshots, information, stuff here and there that can prove the opposite, you see.
Yeah.
So my understanding of the Mandela effect is every thought becomes a reality. Every thought becomes another dimension. Because if it's a thought, it's happened, because it can't be thought and not happen.
Yeah.
Because thoughts are everything, just like speaking to everything, your voice and your thoughts create.
Yeah.
So if I was in fact, you explain this part. This is your golden opportunity to explain about the banana bit.
To explain about the banana bit. Well, I was looking at it as now when we were having this discussion, you had a big mandala, didn't you, up on the wall behind you, right?
Yeah.
Now, if anybody doesn't know what mandalas are, I'm a tattooist and I do fucking loads of them, right? Now, they're basically a geometrical pattern that spreads off. You can have them go in all shapes, but the round ones are the popular ones, and the pattern just basically let me see if I got something here.
Technically, you.
This is a bit of a different. It's not quite geometric because it's got. It's got a skull in it.
Yeah.
See the pattern, right? Now, see the way all these patterns are all matching and they all go out this way. So I was looking at it as, if you make a decision and that's your decision, all these different routes that it goes lead to a different, sort of a different...
Reality. Future.
Dimension. A different dimension, a different outcome. So maybe... This is what it is, because one of the main ones I remember Shaquille O'Neal played Shazam. When you look it up, he never played Shazam, they're telling you. They're saying it was some other guy. And he was like, no, it was...
Oh, no. He played Shazam, and Sinbad played Shazam. One was a spin-off, but they said that Sinbad had never played.
Because they would say, when you look at it, though, it's completely the opposite way. It's weird. If you look at it, it's not how you remember it. It's not. There's something different about it. It's not. And there's so many things that this goes into. But you explain about the banana peel thing.
All right. So they say that if you was to see a banana in the road and you can step over it, step round it, stand on it and slip on it, yeah?
Yeah.
Whichever one you decided to do, whichever way you went, there's all the other ways you could have gone. That you didn't go, but they did still happen. Just didn't happen in your reality. It happened in another reality. So basically, it's an event horizon. It's a moment in time. Every moment's a moment in time where it's an event horizon. But you know, when you want to put a specific I don't know, event to it, and you obviously use something like an object or a circumstance. So that then spreads off, like you said, then with the mandala, which is where it goes in all different directions and it can create more realities, and then so on and so forth. So if I then step up, if I then go over the banana and then see another banana and slip on that one, but then I would have stepped on another reality, then that spreads off again.
Yeah.
Now, they've been using something called CERN in Switzerland, which is the Hadron Collider, and it's there opening portals and all sorts of fucking weird and wonderful things for the people that want to do that sort of shit. And I believe that they've done that and they've kind of blown some realities apart and molded some together. So I think that's what's created the Mandela effect.
It's changed some shit in our dimension, put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, like, once again, sounds fucking crazy, but there's some crazy shit right now going on. So
mate.
Whatever.
Mate, well, the thing is, I remember when that sun colliding thing was opening and people were saying, like, you know, you could fucking start a new universe inside a universe. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. They're smashing the atoms together and they at like ridiculous well, faster than the speed of light and shit. Like, you know, and this is what I mean, though. When you start pissing about with shit like that, you know, and the same with the same with this lab thing in, you know, China. You start pissing about with shit like that, you shouldn't be doing it. Like, and these computer chips in the brain thing and all that. I mean, what the fuck is going on, mate?
Well, I explained this the other day on a message on a post. The metaverse, meta means end of or death. And then you've got uni, which means one, so universe and metaverse. Obviously, verse means one song, or verse, obviously. But verse is only, you know, a song, or part of a song. So if they're trying to create a metaverse within a new reality or a new virtual reality, like they're trying to do right now with the new microchips in the brain and the metaverse, and then they want to get you to be a consumer of all things that they want you to consume, or not things that you want to consume. You don't want to have choice. You want to have just the choice of bad things that they want to give you, so you don't have a choice at all. Yeah. It's one bad thing or another bad thing. Normally choice is a pro and a con, or a couple of pros, a couple of cons, but there's always more pros than cons, but this is just all cons. Yeah. Cons, you know what I mean? Yeah. So basically, the way I see one is the consumerism to hit full warp speed, and everything brought to your house by drones, cars and everything controlled by the system, which is they're doing it on Leeds right now. They're doing all the road workings and they're getting them all quite. Yeah, you can see it, mate. They've got big massive metal bollards all around Leeds. We've got to stop ram raids, to stop this and stop that. But let's be honest with you, mate, it's the lockdown cities. And then you got the electric buses. So the control goes this far, yeah. So I'll be sat home on lockdown, getting that fucking pissed off with life and wanting to connect with people. The only way you can connect and be safe is now to do it over the internet. And the internet of things they want you to be part of, in the sense of they want you to be hooked up to a virtual reality, so you can have a 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever conversation with your friends, so it seems more real. Yeah. And then people get used to this. And after a while, they don't want to go out because they get lazy. Well, no. All the consuming they're doing is making them fat on their day. Yeah. Fast food equals slow men. Slow men equal fucking weak men. And weak men equal fucking more weak people, more weak producing. Yeah. But while they're doing this, while you're locked up, they keep changing things in the roads and changing things underground and do all the things they're doing. And then you've got the shopping markets where people won't have to go in there because it'll all be automated. With your hand putting up against the fridges, and the fridges now have got, I've seen that, I have seen that. It fucking recognises you and like, what the fuck, mate? Like, where is this going? Like, I just want to go back to the 80s, mate. Like, all these dickheads tampering with shit. Like, just piss off and fucking leave us to it. Like, fucking leave us alone. Fuck off. Like, it's doing my head in, man. It is. Like, do you know what I mean? Just fuck off and leave me alone. Like, honestly, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about none of it. Really not. It's too much. It's too much, man. It's just greed. It's greed, and you know, fucking. That's all it boils down to, mate. It's all it boils down to. Sure. Now I said earlier on about the emotion. If you're giving it that attention, you're paying it energy. If you're paying it energy, and you're giving it that emotion, you're manifesting through the fears. But that's what they want. So the way I see it is, whatever's going to happen, you can't change in the sense of it's coming anyway. Yeah. But if you be positive and pass more positivity on and help people raise the vibration and not be so down and depressed where they want you, because quite clearly you're doing the work for them if you start to get down and you're paying attention to it. So the best thing to do right now in this instance is just smile and fucking wave. Well, yeah, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. It's just a matter of it's a matter of just basically just trying to just get on with things. Just get on with things. It's trying to get on with things. And don't get me wrong, I just try not to engage in any of it anymore. I'm just hoping every fucker starts to act a bit more humanely and start realising a few, you know, a little bit here and there. I'm just hoping, you know, things will just settle. And then everybody sort of come together and think, do you know what? We are all fucking one. Let's fucking stand together. Like, that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. Because that's the fucking way it should be. You know, it's the way it should be going. Well, I think it is though, bro. I think that those that aren't paying nonsense to it and paying 6 cents to it and seeing it for what it is, they're starting to band together and see it. And they're starting to pass this knowledge on. This knowledge is coming out now anyway. So those that haven't taken the shots.
Yeah.
Those that are just sat on the fence with splinters in their house, they're going to start waking up even more now, and that there's going to be the lions that are sleeping, or sleeping lions, so to speak. So there's a lot of things going on in the background. I don't really understand that's happening. You know, there's been earthquakes there. There's been a lot of volcano eruptions.
There's been a lot.
There's civil wars happening. I don't know if you've heard of this, but apparently Iraq are back down to the gold standard now, and they're now become sovereign again, and they've made peace with Iran, and not Iran. They've made peace with anyway. They just paid them back all the gold bullion that they'd have taken from them during the siege, the takeover. Now, I've got a video on it. Some guy speaks about it, and I think it's Adam. If it's Chris, I get the fucking name. I'll put some names on for you to research. There's an interview that goes on about all this.
Yeah,
and
but
speaking about Jassara and Asara.
What is it?
You know what Jassara and Asara is?
No.
It's basically something that should have been released in 2000 or 2001. Obviously, the towers went down, and that kind of threw everyone into a fucking chaotic spin.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be the start of the end, like it is now, but then, and it was prevented by those in power, those that don't want us to progress. And Jassara and Asara is basically national and worldwide debt-free living, and all patterns for medical care.
Yeah.
You know, the patterns that instruments like the med beds that are coming out and such. Well, they're all being released, and you can see that you can actually see that this technology is slowly getting released.
Yeah.
So while that shit's coming to light about the bad, there's stuff coming to light about the good, because that's the duality.
Yeah.
So as we speak more about ours and they speak more about theirs, we're going to get to the point where we're going to start to see who the fucking horrible bastards are and better people are, and the parallel is going to become, or the spectrum is going to become so much easier to see from top to bottom.
Don't you find it mad how all of this has come out now, right? I'd probably, I mean, if you were going to put something out, I mean, or if something was naturally going to come out, right? Don't you find it a massive coincidence it's come out at the time when everybody is the most argumentative, disagrees? Look at all the different groups. Like, it used to be, people used to talk about the left and the right. Mate, there's so many different categories now, I can't even fucking keep up with it. Like, there's people, there's different sections in the left, there's different sections in the middle, mate. What the fuck is going on? I can't keep up with it.
That's the game of divide and conquer, innit? And they got to the point where they can divide and divide even more at a faster rate. You know, they've created new subdivisions of mass, unmass, jab, unjab, boosted. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got other subdivisions. You've got now BLM and other things coming out.
Yeah.
It's a case of, it's a natural way of war. It's divide and conquer, as you do. You know, I mean, like, divide. Okay, so on a battlefield, if you maim a soldier, and it takes 3 soldiers to take that other soldier away from the battlefield because you don't leave him on behind, then they've divided you again, but not by one. They've divided you by more. Yeah. Or not divided by one, but they've not taken one away. They've taken 3, 4 away. So that's the way they make you weak. So if there's a faction of us of 10 people, and they make one of them feel fucking, I don't know, down, depressed, shit, whatever, and then, you know, the other part of the group don't understand that they've got to continue their life. But 3 of them stay behind and say, look, I'm going to help this guy out. And then there's a divide there, you know, regardless of it's negative, positive, but it's all divides. Yeah. And therein lies the words again. You can have divine or divide. You know, you can have divinity, or you can have division. Yeah. Just like, you know, I said before about the words, you know, you got responsibility and ability to respond. You got violent, which is violence, or violent, violent. And you've got gay, which is gay. And it just goes on, because they're inverting everything. Everything's getting inverted.
Can you imagine how fucking powerful we'd be if we were all fucking together? Like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Well, but that's if we had that, they'd be shitting themselves up there. I can fucking tell you that now. They'd be shitting their pants.
We are coming together. We're finding each other online. We're finding each other in the streets. we've got synchronicities now where people, you're on a bus and you just talk to them and it becomes apparent that they're on your vibe. You're meeting a new soulmate, family member, whatever, soul family, and they understand that they get you and they bounce off you and you bounce off them. You help each other out because low vibe people always find low vibe people to whinge at and whinge with. High vibe people always find high vibe people to go and have a laugh and giggle and enjoy something. So these two fractions, these two groups, you can either go down the low vibe route and end up splitting, your parallel universe that way. You go down, and we'll go up, or you can join us and start finding more positive people. Stop being an ass and accept that things are what they are and let go of regret.
I think like the biggest mistake people are making with this and with everything that's being said is they are making out it's like a one size fits all thing, and it don't work like that. Like what works like that? One size fits all. It don't fucking work like that. Everybody's fucking different. Do you know what I mean? It don't work like that. So just to question the fact that the one size fits all thing, just that alone should be ringing alarm bells. When they were putting the same amount into kids as it was like, hang on a minute, that's a child. That's a much smaller. You can't, do you know what I mean? And nobody was questioning that. It was just like, just bang it in.
It's like a dosage rate. Children normally is a lot of dosage to men or to men and women. Yeah. Sometimes even men to women is different. But and when it's only testing and it's not it's in trials and it's not even fully authorized for emergency use, but they're still going to put the same dose in one child to do the. Not that I'm asked about dosage, but that's just one of the clear factors. That we're talking about that no one seems to want to look at and point out. The dosage rate.
I have started to wonder whether people are just like hypnotized, like, MK Ultra shit. MK Ultra shit, terrestrial TV. Now, I don't watch terrestrial TV. I don't watch news for obvious reasons. It's all fucking bullshit. And just brainwashing. That's all the fucking news is. And covering up for paedophiles. Basically, that's all the fucking news is doing. Covering up for paedophiles and telling you fucking bullshit. So, I don't watch the news. I don't watch fucking EastEnders and all that shit because there's a lot of brainwashing going on there. Which is, certain stuff comes up in episodes. You're like, why the fuck are they putting that into programs? But it's programming.
It's when your mind's seeing it, your mind accepts it.
Yeah, it's programming. Like, people don't even realize it's happening. It's called a TV program. They are programming your fucking head when you're watching that shit. Do you know? That's what it is. I reckon that's what the link is.
There's another thing coming up as well. I'll speak about Christmas because you'll obviously give a Christmas message out, but I don't believe in it anymore.
Christmas?
Yeah, do you want to say why?
Go on, let's hear it.
You know why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Satan Claus, fucking sick bastard.
Sick bastard, yeah.
Satan Claus, so if you go research this, the dark history of Santa, and there's videos on it, and it's a video made, it's on YouTube, but if you just be a logical thinker and open your mind up and understand that the things that are said for logical reasons. It's this. You tell your child that there's this mist that comes down your chimney, some stranger you never met before in life. But you tell your kids whoever speaks to strangers, never take anything from strangers. That's straight away you're fucking
yeah.
And then you tell them never to lie. And then you're lying to them for the first fucking however many years you are. So then when the child becomes, old enough to understand that you've lied to him, and someone tells him that you've lied to him, and then he becomes heartbroken, or she becomes heartbroken, that there snatches just a little bit of trust. Just a little bit. Not loads, but just enough, because the child's trust is very, very vulnerable. So you do that to the child, yeah? But not only do you do that, but you told them that you can speak to strangers. Because obviously, if you lie to them about the first thing, then you must think you're lying about the other thing. So you can speak to strangers, you can take things off strangers. And then there's the social construct, the social class. So children then, regardless of who the fuck you are, unless you're in the middle of nowhere, you're going to get these presents, and you're going to have some sort of hidden pressure from, other parents or other children. And you can't be seen to not be doing the things you're meant to do for Christmas for your child. Because if you do them, you're not a good parent. So these bad parents, then you become a bad parent by just feeding into the bullshit, becoming part of the fad. Or the tradition. So, because tradition's everything, traditionalist is everything. So, literally, these children then go to school or they go out into the street and they're seeing that they haven't got the same as someone else. And they start asking themselves, well, why haven't I got that?
Yeah.
But then these other children who've got the better stuff, they start kind of looking down at your parents and going, because kids are nasty. You know, they're nasty because they watch the shit they watch and they get taught how to be nasty, how to be sly and around. So then these children then now have got a social class. Then they've got, who's better than who, who's got more than who. And I know that I experienced this as a child, so I know it works, I know it happens.
Yeah.
And then you've got obviously the trust issues that's been destroyed. So that in general causes so much fucking pain and heartache for your child. But not only does it do that, it puts stress and strain on the parents.
Yeah.
And right at the bad time of winter, when we're experiencing the shit weather, the cold, there's not as much sun out and they're covering the summer clouds anyway. And then all the stress and strain of trying to work hard, they get the Christmas dinner sorted, invite people, send Christmas cards out, buy the presents your child wants, the stress of money. All them things then create illnesses.
Yeah. It's become like an own generator for itself, really, isn't it? Because we are almost creating our own stress sometimes. You look at people posting all these pictures, social media, look at all these presents, and then it's a fucking competition and everybody's fucking posting all these pictures. Then the people who can't afford to do that are feeling like shit because they can't fucking do it for their kids. It's a fucking big, like, look at what I got game. And they don't mean harm by doing it. But it naturally happens.
There's good intention.
It naturally is happening without even knowing that, because I remember having this, I had a conversation with one of the boys yesterday. I went out, I didn't drink. It was a meet up with a couple of the boys I used to work with. And we met up and I was basically saying to him, because he don't like Christmas at all. And I remember saying to him years ago, what do you mean you don't like fucking Christmas? What's the matter with you? Scrooge and shit, I was calling him. But after I was ill with depression at Christmas, my perception of Christmas has changed. Because when I went through that really rough patch of depression, I was really ill. Like, it wasn't just feeling low. I was bad. I had a fucking mental breakdown. I was ill. So after going through that, it completely changed my perception of it. I can't help now thinking about the homeless people. I always thought about the homeless people anyway, right? But when I think about people who are going through breakups now, people who are going through, having bad news to do with cancer, people to do with anything, mate, like losing their houses, people, who've lost someone close to Christmas. Like, I automatically think about people who are having a shit time now, because that's something I never really thought that much about until I fucking went there. So it changed, changed my perception.
If I could change Christmas, I'd change it to just one present. I'd say, look, fucking just give someone a nice gift, one gift.
Yeah.
Find someone like a Secret Santa. Go out and give a gift to some random.
Yeah.
If they've got a gift, they will.
Yeah.
I'll give it to someone else.
Like,
but I mean, like, obviously, you find something that's generic for everyone, something that's universal. But at the same time, mate, if I could completely get rid of the concepts in general of that pressure, because it's the pressure that puts us in a position we're in. It's the pressurized environment we live in that creates the manifestations of illnesses. Like get cold and from all that shit.
My mate has just commented by you now. He said, Bozza's just announced everyone to get boosted. What's your thoughts? Christmas. What's your thoughts? Fucking hell. Well, put it this way. I think that fucking prick has been sniffing too much fucking coke in Christmas parties, to be honest with you. And that's another thing I was going to say about, Boris. Everybody's on the witch hunt for Boris now. Boris is just as much of a cunt as the rest of them there. It doesn't matter who you vote in. It's all going to have the same effect. It doesn't matter. They're all working for the same people. So what they're going to try and do now is get Boris... get him out. So you see in the media turning against Boris, which is part of the plan. They're going to paint a bad picture of him now, which is a bad picture anyway. There's not much good to paint. But whoever's in next is going to be much worse. Much worse. They're making out now. They're using him. They're throwing him under the bus. They're throwing him under the bus. It don't matter who you vote for, guys.
He was always going to be under the bus, brother. He was
they all do, don't they?
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with bonus me. I don't have a problem with none of them.
Yeah.
Not one of them.
Just
you know why? Because they don't have to do it. Wait the fucking silly cunts up.
Yeah.
But see, I don't mean that the point of saying, it has to happen.
Yeah.
But you see, the ones that haven't woke up, they weren't meant to wake up. They weren't meant to be with us, and therefore, you know, this is the call of the weak-minded, the ones that they've been able to, put into a trance.
Yeah.
And that sounds like it's quite emotionless, but I can't. I'm learning to switch my emotions off to the things that I can't control and can't change. So what's the point in me bearing any fucking grudges to a man that's helping us?
Yeah.
In essence, he's actually part of the good because he's doing the bad, so we can experience what's happening now and see it for what it is.
That's all I like.
Part of the trick.
Yeah, it is. It's all sleight of hand, isn't it? It's trickery. Like, that's all I hope people realise is, what is more important than having control of your own body? Nothing. So when has it ever been, like, even people who have been done should see the danger in not having control over that. I mean, it's a massive danger. It doesn't affect anything by not. It just doesn't.
Actually, there's one worse than that. The worst thing you can ever have loss of control of is your mind.
Fuck yeah. I've come close a few fucking times, mate. Let me tell you.
Well, it's funny when most people think someone's lost the plot, they've most likely found it.
Yeah.
You've got to find your plot now. You know what I mean?
Oh, mate, it is bonkers. But, when I'm trying to explain to people about the dangers with cash, like, I've been trying to warn people about this situation with cash for fucking ages, years. And now you try to go into Swansea and you can't pay with cash in most of they turn in your custom away, mate. And I'm
done that in Australia.
What's that now?
Really now, if you don't sign to the QR code, and just so you know, QR codes have been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
They've been seen in ancient scriptures. But basically, this guy he was trying to pay for his fuel in Australia, and the guy said, "No, you can't have it. He's already put fuel in there, man." He said, "Nah, I won't give you no fuel. You need to pay. But I won't let you pay on the card machine unless you've signed in here." Well, I ain't got no cash, and I ain't going to sign on that because I'm not that in. But I'm here to pay. But you won't accept my money, so I'm not paying.
No.
So the guy intends to say, you can pay this time, now, next time don't come back here again. So no. It's turning people away.
I've done that. I've done it. I literally, if they turn around and say to you at the start, we don't take cash, because I've done it. I've waited. I've known they haven't taken cash, and I've sat down, I've had food, and when they've come up and said, we don't take well, that's all I fucking got, mate, and that's the legal tender, so you should be taking it. If you're not going to accept it, fuck you, I'm going to fucking not bother paying, and I'll fuck off now, like, you're going to lose the money, end of. But then the ones that tell you before, they literally they'll turn your custom away, and I'm like, are you thick? Are you fucking stupid? You're turning money away. That's illegal for a start. And then I try explaining then, and let me just say this, right? I try explaining to people then, they're like, oh, what's the danger with getting rid of money? I'm like, what, really? You don't know the danger of getting rid of money? And then I take them through the steps then. You know why they brought money in? To replace gold, silver, precious metals, diamonds, rubies.
Make it more of a end debt.
Well, they made out they were doing you a favour, right? You don't have to carry all those heavy things anymore. We'll give you this paper, right? This useless, worthless paper that they can print off as much as they want and make themselves as rich as possible. Not only can they make themselves as rich as possible, but they've got all of your gold, silver, metals, rubies. So they've got the gold. They've got an endless supply of money they can print for themselves, but that's not enough anymore. They want you to have less now. They want everything you've got to be accounted for. That's what they're doing. They're just going after us. They're not looking after us.
It's a virus, isn't it? It's a virus. It just completely engulfs whatever it's infested. The thing with cryptocurrency is this as well. So, tales from the crypt. Yeah. It comes from the dead.
Tales from the
crypt. When you're getting crypt total currency, that means it's not in your hand. If it's not in your hand, you haven't got it. You haven't got it in materials, and it's in yours. No, it's not, because they can switch it off.
Yeah.
Very, very pickle thing now, because I reckon it's going to go down at some point. So where's your fucking money gone then?
Like you try and imagine now, right? If everything had to reset and they had to hand everything back, they haven't got enough gold, silver to hand back to us in value. They haven't got enough because they printed off so much for themselves to make them and their friends billionaires, so they'll never have to worry about money again. They'd never have enough money to hand back, because they'd never hand back the extra money they've taken for themselves. They'd never fucking hand that back.
Isn't it funny how two of the top billionaires in the world could get rid of all, top billionaires in the world could probably get rid of all. I mean, Jeff Bezos, he could have literally stop world hunger.
Oh, that's what I said.
But when he done, the other issue you've got is this. If that's the case, then people say there ain't enough to go around, we ain't got enough for everyone. Well, if he's got enough to give us all summer, so we all stop starving, and that's just enough.
Exactly.
So there's enough to go around everyone. Literally, that's just one of them.
Yeah.
You put them all together, all this fucking fake ass money. Because money makes the world go round, and without money being there, the world's not round.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, who fucking knows, innit? Do you know what I mean? I doubt anything I've been told anymore. I just doubt anything I've been fucking told. Until I see until I see it myself, but you know, it like thinking about the flat Earth and shit like that. I mean, fuck, it don't matter to me if it's fucking round or flat. Like at the end of the it don't matter.
I'm sure I've gone on this before, but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
If you don't know where you are,
exactly.
How the fuck do you know where you're going?
Well, exactly. But this is the problem, though, is people try and talk about flat Earth and shit, and they try and say flat Earth as a LinkedIn with people, and this is what they try and do is tarnish anything that goes against what you're being told by the BBC. Basically, is flat Earth. And it's like, no, it's fucking not.
I get that, yeah, because it's against their teachings, and the teachings is the teacher with a big fucking square in the house.
Yeah.
But the big blackboard, and so you turn on, the colours come to life. But everybody, all civilizations before us believed that the world was I wouldn't say flat, but you know, they believed that it was more.
Yeah. Well, you can understand. You can understand why they would think that without, you know, fucking technology, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? But
you can't prove that anything above us in the celestial bodies are actually spherical. There's no proof that it's spherical at all. Just the images you've been given.
Yeah, there's just no evidence. Like and this is what I mean though. Like I don't even bother thinking about shit like that until I'm like, and unless I can go and see for myself and go in a rocket and look for myself, and I'm fucking not gonna know. Like I'm just being told. Like, do you know what I mean? You're never truly gonna know.
I know what you're saying, but if you think logically without having to be told by someone else, you just use your senses and use your powers of deduction. You know, everything kind of just comes to life. It starts to jump out at you. Like, why do we have waves? Why do waves like they say it's because it's full of the moon? Well, I don't believe that. I think it's transfer of energy from hot to cold. You know, the transfer from one place to another of heat. And that's why you've got the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream, as the sun goes around, it obviously heats the water up, and the hot water comes. The hot air comes to the top, and the cold air rushes down at the bottom. And if it does that, it creates like a fucking cyclone. And that cyclone pushes the sea along. Obviously, whilst the water is getting heated up as well by the sun, that obviously creates some sort of convection. The convection where it starts to heat up. So as it does that, it starts to make these waves move, and then when the sun goes down at the end of the day and there's no more sun above it, that's when the waves come in, because the water settles in that particular area. And that's why the water starts to rise.
Is the moon something to do with the tides? I thought the moon was something to do with the tides.
It's the same size. As far as I mean, this is my belief. I believe they're both the same size. And
it's probably all comes into play. It probably all comes into play, doesn't it? You know, the sun, the moon. It probably just all works in a fucking perfect system, like.
Yeah, of course it will. Yeah, we're in a closed down system. But you see, as the moon, if the moon's up in pulls on the water as a gravitational pull to the Earth, then how was the moon created? Because to create any, they're saying obviously through gravity, which I think is an hypothesis and a theory. But if the moon was created through spin, through gravitational pull to create a ball, then when did the moon stop spinning, and why did it stop spinning? It just got
it just stopped. Like, because I know that's weird.
Do you get that?
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
Strange. Yeah, why is that just like everything else spins? The moon is just like fucking.
No, that's what they say. Hang on, that's what they say. Everything spins, but once again, you can't prove
does
that.
It though?
Have you ever seen the other side of the sun? Well, you won't be able to tell. But have you ever seen the other side of the moon? No, you haven't.
No.
So if that's the case, then like I said, if this spherical object in the sky, the celestial body, was created through gravitational pull and spin to create the surface it's got of a sphere, then how the fuck did one day it did just stop and then just stay where it was?
Yeah.
It can't. So that being the case, this thing that's not spinning anymore, it's in the sky, it keeps doing what it's doing. Bear in mind, it spins that way.
Yeah.
So as it rolls. It rolls, and that's why when it gets down to the other side of the world, as in Australia, it's upside down, so it's done a full 180 degree spin, and then it comes back around and rolls it back to the same one. So that's why it looks upside down in Australia when it's not. It's just rotated around. So it spins one way, but not. It can't spin perfectly. How did it just? No. That's one thing as well. Coincidence, right? How did it just stop spinning that way or any other way? But by coincidence, it only spins perfectly on an axis.
Yeah.
But perfectly on its axis, right, facing us. So it's literally spinning perfectly on us.
Yeah.
How did it do that?
Like,
was that by chance?
Because you've heard what they say about the dark side of the moon and shit like that with Neil Armstrong, and they reckon on the dark side of the moon, I've heard loads of theories that it's an empty fucking shell and fucking there's things in it, and
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
You ready? Neil Armstrong, take the A and the Neil and turn them back around, you've got alien. And then look at his fucking shoes, and his shoes or his boots for the moon landing are completely different soles to the ones that are in the museum.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's guaranteed to be Neil Armstrong suit.
And they use loads of fake footage as well, didn't they?
Stanley Kubrick admitted to doing the landings in Mexico before he died, and he's the one that did The Shining.
Yeah, they reckon the footage got damaged by the fucking what's it called? Like nuclear fucking waves and that to kill the fucking footage. There's so much discrepancies with that as well, isn't it? Like, truly, I don't fucking know. Like, but when you start looking into these things and you start thinking, well, yeah, that don't make sense, and that, well, yeah, why is that then? And then when it, like, if they really did try and cover up that they lost footage by filming fake footage, it's one of the most stupid fucking decisions anybody's made. Like, do you know what I mean?
The same. The thing is, mate, it's the same footage now as it was then that you see. So there was no fake footage made, you know, and it can't be because it was exactly the same as it was then. I mean, if it was a few years later and they brought fresh footage out, it'd be different, but they didn't.
Well, that's it. They haven't brought anything new out, have they? Like, why aren't they going back? Like, why, you know, but if it's that easy to do, and they did it back then with no computers like we've got now, like, surely
I'm a fucking telephone man from BT.
Yeah, surely it'd be easy now. You could just fucking strap a rocket on your back and go up and back, surely. With all the technology.
Sent a fucking car to space on there. Did not send a car to space.
Elon Musk did, yeah. Elon Musk sent a car to space. I used this theory. He's a robot. Yeah. I used this theory with someone the other day, and they were basically saying, like, oh, do you believe in the Roswell thing? And I said, I don't know. Like I said, part of me wants to believe. I want to believe is real. Back then, there wasn't as much of an imagination as there is now. So back then, it was a pretty big thing that happened. You know, it wasn't like now you've got loads of films with realistic aliens and UFOs. It wasn't like that back then. So you need to think of that. You know, it wasn't in this era that happened. But then I said to the guy, I said, listen, is it too hard to believe that we've just had Elon Musk put a car into space with a fucking guy sitting in it, a convertible car. It's like a fucking little figure, isn't it? Now, what's to say a massive asteroid don't crash through you, wipe everything to smithereens, and hit that car off into another course. In billions of years, it lands on another planet, and everybody's fucking crowding around going, what the fuck is this? Do you know what I mean? It could happen, mate.
Yeah, could up in fucking convertible.
Just crash lands like fucking Marty McFly in Back to the Future 2, like.
Imagine that. Fuck, you know. Planet of Apes, if that couldn't come back from Planet of Apes, but Marty Wahlberg in his fucking convertible.
Yeah. You never know, though. Do you know what I mean? It could happen, like. But people would be thinking that that's an alien. They would.
You know, I couldn't say that, you know. I don't believe there's space up there. I don't think you can pass something through space because space is a vacuum and you can't. See, information has to pass through something, yeah?
Yeah.
So, how do they pass information through a vacuum?
When there's nothing there,
like... If you tried screaming into a vacuum, your voice just gets sucked away, yeah? So, they need atmosphere to pass something through something. Something can't pass through nothing. You can't go down the road if there's no road there.
Hold on, as a disclaimer, none of the viewers go stick in your mouth by a vacuum, right? You get your lips sucked off.
Yeah.
Don't put your dick in there, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, mine replaced. I see a lot of women got their replaced as well. They must be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that it's space. I think it's hydrogen, frozen hydrogen and water above. I think
is it?
I mean, like I say, like I'm entitled to my fucking belief, and I'm going to speak my belief because I've used the power of deduction and logical thinking.
Everybody's entitled to their belief. You know?
But I'm classed as a crazy fucker for questioning your belief, but belief should be questioned because without questioning anything, we won't get where we are right now.
Like, I pretty much come to and this is what I'm saying when you brought up flat Earth and that. I don't cast anything out of a fucking possibility unless I've seen it for myself. So I don't class anything as. It can sound ridiculous, like, but you look at the pyramids now with that Dr. Robert Spock or whatever his fucking name is, who's been on Joe Rogan. Now, he's come out and tried saying, you're all wrong with your time frames for when these pyramids were built because there wasn't flooding here in the time you were saying that the pyramids were built. And there's all water fucking marks all over, or what's it called, where the water's eaten into the stone. You can see it clearly.
Erosion.
So that would mean that those fucking pyramids were built hundreds of thousands of years before what they're telling us. But those scientists have outcast him from the fucking scientific community because he's basically just thrown a fucking spanner in the works for everything they've said. But it's true.
Well, there's a big thing on buildings at the moment. If you just go into your local cities and actually look around at the old buildings, then look at the size and the intricacies of some of these buildings. Like, I mean, the big ones are like St. Peter's. I'll mention St. Petersburg because that's the one that I actually did a bit of research on. St. Petersburg in the 1800s, the beginning of the 1800s, had only mud roads and massive megalithic buildings. And they was far too big and far too intricate, far too, I don't know, I'd say the intricate designs was far beyond what they was capable of. And there was only 500,000 people inhabiting St. Petersburg in the 1800s, at the beginning of the 1800s, yet they take photos of St. Petersburg and there's hardly anyone in the streets for one. And there's awesome caps on mud roads. And I don't know how they managed to move these megalithic fucking rocks, these different types of stones, limestone and whatnot. And then they created it's like a big magnet, like a big arch. And these big arches, they say that had different types of metal in them, so like big magnets. Yeah. And they actually said that some of the rooms are well below street level, which means that, well, if they're covered in mud and they've been fucking sludged out to death and all this stuff covered where the original entrances were and these windows, why there are sunk like they have in these other places, then why would they dig in? Why we don't dig down now? Yeah. Why do we dig down now? And to prepare the city for the equivalent of 3 million people and there's only 500,000 people living there, that's a bit of a fucking a premature decision to create this city for free. We don't do it now, do we? We don't create massive amounts of fucking buildings and living spaces for people.
No.
I mean, like massive amounts, a new city.
Not unless you're the government building mega prisons.
You don't do that. You don't do that with the struggle of being able to move these fucking rocks with horse and cart and these primitive people, our ancestors, being able to move it. And then you got David Dickens, Charles Dickens, and other authors on about like Oliver and Peter Pan, and they're massive on orphanages. Yeah. And in fact, in 1800s, they used to have big world fairs, and in them world fairs, they used to have people who could go in and look like an observation room for people that was in children that was in incubators, the incubation like watch rooms where you could just go look at babies in these incubators. Yeah. Research it as well. I mean, I'm not talking to you, Sean. Anyone's watching this, go research it. Go and have a good fucking look on your phone and proper delve in to research, because if you're not doing it right now when you're on your lockdown or you've had a positive test,
have a good nose.
Go home and do something with your time.
Have a good nose. Just have a look into things. Like, question everything. Like, fuck, I'm not being funny, but you know, like the stuff with history, and it fascinates me though, because like what year was Columbus sort of on his fucking rounds? Like, what year was he doing his shit? Because he's gone down in the history books. Like, he wasn't really the guy who discovered America, was he? Do you know what I mean? But and this is what they do is because they are in control up there, they write their own fucking version, like as if they're the heroes. Do you know what I mean? They write their own history books, like.
That's because the history was made. Yes. The history was written by the time people won the war. You know?
Exactly.
You're not going to let someone who's just beaten up write what really happened, are you?
No, fucking hell. We're not getting it.
I don't know. Let him say the story, and then all of a sudden that person that beat you got beaten up by the person that got battered.
Yeah,
that's how it works. Like, but it's not just that worries me.
Like, I find it.
All these, go on, bro.
I find it fascinating, right? And this is something I think about a lot. They've just found a new pyramid in Russia, haven't they? A massive fucking pyramid. Like, I'm like, how the fuck did you not see that for a start? It's fucking huge. So they've discovered now there's a pyramid in fucking Russia. I mean, it's fucking huge. Like, how could you miss that? But Egypt, right? Pyramids. The Chichen Itza pyramids. Now, you're talking about a time now, right, where apparently there was no fucking traveling. There was no... Why are there pyramids all over the fucking world? They're even in the bottom of the ocean in some places. Why? Like, how were you communicating? If you didn't have any communication, how did you synchronize all of these fucking pyramids all around the world without communication, without technology, without travel? How?
On ley lines, on power lines.
Yeah.
Energetic lines, yeah.
So they communicating through, it makes you think, how were they doing it? Like,
someone said to me, they built the pyramids and it was all in line with the Orion's belt. And I went,
hold on, you're cutting off. You're cutting off.
How could they see the kind of the stars? I went, well, back then they didn't have they did that, there's no evidence there, but they didn't have artificial light, and artificial light cuts out the stars, so we can't see the stars. So, that's why we should have, natural light, organic light, like fucking burning wood and stuff. Yeah. Because it actually artificial light damages your eyes. It's unhealthy there.
Yeah, it does. You've got to ask these questions. Like, there's some stuff that's just, it can't be answered. There's stuff going on now, right, that can't be fucking explained. There's shit going on now that's just way beyond fucking explanation. But yet, we as humans, we are trying to understand the universe, the history. It's too much shit to take in. Like, we're just never going to understand it. We're never going to get to the bottom of it. Like, but we as humans, we try.
If you're passionate about it and you really, really are intrigued and you want to learn and you want to know, not just for yourself, but to help other people understand how things really work and how they are, then, do this, because you might only get 5% more than what you already know, but 5% is better than none.
Exactly. I mean, that's all we can try to do is try and understand. That's it. That's all we can do, innit? You know, it's.
I got one for any speech about pain in the head. Fucking, I got a lot of pain in the head. So I've been asking a few people this question because it's quite an in-depth one. How many pain receptors have you got in the body?
How many what?
How many pain receptors have you got in the body?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. Huh?
One.
The brain, is it?
In your mind, yeah.
Yeah.
In your mind, it's all your neural network is in your nerves are all attached to one pain receptor, and that's obviously in your brain. Now, when they do brain surgery on anybody who needs brain surgery, they only anesthetic in the part of the brain they're actually going to cut open for the skull. They don't actually put it in the brain because the brain doesn't feel anything. So they do brain surgery on brains. They can actually put brain away and you don't feel it. So if that's the case, how the fuck do you get an headache?
Yeah, where's the pain like?
Are you ready? I'll tell you why. This is my belief, my understanding, and if anyone wants to fucking jump on me and have a little fucking talk, we'll do. But your brain is connected to certain parts of your body. All parts of your brain is connected to certain parts of your body. That's why you're here. I would say every bit of your brain has to be connected to certain part of your body.
Everything,
So when you get an headache in a certain part of your head, and the doctor says, "Oh, where is your headache?" and they know just how bad you are if you know where the headache is, and what you've hurt, and where you've injured yourself. Yeah. So if I get a bit of a pain here, then most likely I have an issue in my knee or my arm, somewhere on this side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that corresponds with that issue that I've got, and that's my body telling my brain, or my brain telling my body that I need to fix something internally.
Yeah.
Now, if I don't fix it internally, like, I don't know, so you get an headache after not drinking water all night and drinking alcohol, that means your full body is dehydrated, so you get a fucking full-blown headache.
Yeah.
It's terrible. All right? So
I've had a few with them. I've had a few.
So, so that's your body telling you, I need rehydration.
Yeah.
So you wake up, your body's telling you need rehydration. You've got bad spit, you've got little bits of white spit, it's not normal.
You're becoming unwell.
Your skin's a bit dry and so on and so forth. Yeah, so you know that's the issue, so you drink water. So if you've got an issue elsewhere, something else, I don't know, something in your knee, like I say, and you take a tablet to dumb that pain down in your head, because that's obviously your brain telling you. And if you can actually access your mind fully, and you can understand what's going on, then you can put the nutrition or the issue right within, because we are all self-healing. So if that's the case, yeah, if you put this tablet in your mouth and you dumb down the feeling down, and you put a barricade between that sense and this feeling, your body will internally manifest the issue it needs to deal with externally, be it cancer, be it a tumour, be it some sort of ligament, anything that needs to be fixed will present itself externally. Yeah. And that's because we get something called dis-ease, and disease is created in the mind through inflammation. And inflammation is created by neurotoxins or sugars that hit the mind and create snot and create mucus. And mucus is obviously, not the good stuff. Yeah. That's why your brain spits out all that shit, as well as obviously whatever else goes in your head. It brings out your nose, just like when you're getting out your chest, it's coming out your throat. Yeah. Just like if you get an infection in your leg, it comes out like mucus in your leg. Yeah. It's the bad coming out in green, wherever else. Yeah. So that's you manifesting your issues on the external because you just keep popping these tablets, painkillers, and all this other stuff, and creating the problem that you keep getting and repeating.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. It does make sense. That explanation does. The body. I mean, when you start dissecting things with the human body, I mean, it's almost like looking up to the fucking universe, isn't it? It's a miracle how everything fucking works. Like,
as above, so below, as within, so without. We are what we see outside. So we are everything, because if your mind isn't here right now and you're somewhere else, then the world doesn't exist to you. So are you even here? Without your mind being here, you're not here, because the center of your universe is you and your mind.
Yeah. Because you talking about water, right? While we're on the subject, I want to talk about something you told me to get, that the viewers, listen guys, don't drink out of that fucking tap, right? I'm telling you now, it tastes as shit for a reason. It's full of fucking fluoride. So, Smudger told me to get this, right? It's called the Grail. Geopress Purifier. Smudger told me to get it. Let me move that over there. right?
I didn't tell you. I didn't order you. I just said that.
No, he didn't tell me to get it. He fucking said, he said, if you want to get it. So I picked it up.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, right? So get on Amazon. You're looking about, I think I paid something like 110 quid. And it came with a spare filter, right?
That's the one, yeah. 35 gallons to do. 35 gallons is it?
Now, it does 65 gallons.
Oh, is it?
65 gallons and one press. So basically what you do is you fill this up. You can fill it up from like a stream and shit like that. So if you're out on a hike or whatever, don't know if I can get that there. So you can fill it up from the stream. You basically got inside there, you've got another beaker like inside there. So if you see the back there, you fill that up with water, pull this out. I'll fucking show you now. It's easier than that. It's hard to explain. So that comes out like that. Basically, fucking thing. Right? There's the filter. You fill this with water. And then you push this down. And it pushes the water through this filtration filter then. And you get in the clean water. It tastes so much better. I'm not getting any fucking money for this, mind. I'm just doing it because it's fucking good for you. So...
yeah, man.
It's
very good information, man.
So don't drink out of the taps. I mean, I do drink. I shouldn't drink bottled water. You've told me not to, but sometimes I do it. I'd rather drink out of the bottled water than the tap if I need to. But I'm using this as much as I can, And once you've bought that, it'll last for fucking ages, and then you can just renew the filter then.
And it helps detoxify as well, because pure water, like you're born in the embryonic fluid, that's distilled water. You're born in distilled water. You should be distilled water. Or you should have that salt only water you're putting in you. Obviously, you can have some minerals and that. Why not?
Yeah.
But in essence, you poison yourself by about 85% every time you drink poisonous water.
Yeah. I mean, you just, like... I noticed, and I've noticed for a long time, but the smell, you can smell the chlorine and the fluoride in the fucking water. And it's intensified over the last 2 years. I'm like, fuck, I can't even drink this. And I was drinking pop and shit instead. I was like, I'm drinking loads of pop because I don't like the taste of the water. I used to drink, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm drinking Coke, like, fuck. So, yeah, I bought this now. So I've basically cut right down on any of the pops and shit. Like, I don't drink out the tap. So it's, it's worth getting, guys, because, like, I know it sounds a lot. It's 110, I think it was, but it came with 2 filters. So what you got to remember is each one of those filters, you're talking 130 gallons then, which you'll go through with those 2 filters. So it's worth doing, and I tell you now, it doesn't taste of fluoride after this. The tap water is the same water, but it just tastes clean. That filter works like it does. So it's
fucking buzzing you got it, mate. I'm happy you're happy with it as well. Because,
it's fucking it's good in fairness. So go and get on Amazon. I mean, fuck, it's a good present to buy for somebody for Christmas. The GeoPress purifier. So it's a good present to buy for somebody, especially people who like, who like to look after their bodies. They will appreciate it.
Or even those that go hiking, because if you want to go on a little hike, you want to go out into the woods, do some camping, just to stop the weight. Travel light, freeze at night. But if you travel light enough without having to carry all your water, you can carry an extra sleeping bag and less water, and you can use that in the fucking rivers and streams. It just makes sense. Exactly.
It does make sense. And I've been telling, like, my customers, you cut off.
Yeah.
You cut off then a second, you went blank. I've been telling my customers and stuff I've been like, look, and especially all the ones who are into their fitness, and I'm like, get one of them for fuck's sake.
I'm glad you're fighting on that side, mate, and helping people with the health and the wealth.
Yeah.
Because health is wealth anyway, so.
I mean, go on, but is there anything else you wanted to say? I think we've covered fucking loads, haven't we?
I just started to say we've been on for a few hours.
I don't even know how long. How long's it been going?
just saying then, we're having a short break and just going to say we're looking at doing some more podcasts, but on our own, in like a series. And we're on about having a bit of fun on there and having some guests on as well. Yeah. So I think it'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I mentioned to you earlier, didn't I? I said I've got like a thing. I got a thing I can do on you, which it can be a bit of an interactive side. So maybe we look at taking calls and stuff. With get some guests on and have a chat with people about what's going on with them, because everybody's listening to our opinions. I'd like to speak to people with their opinions and get everybody's input. Get everybody's input, you know what I mean? So hopefully we'll get something like that going soon. I'm trying to work out how I'll do it though, because at the minute I've got you going through the Bluetooth on the Zoom. So that's where the phone would need to go through, unless I can connect another phone into there maybe. So I'll suss it out.
Can't you add them on here?
On Zoom?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't even thought about that, to be honest. Yeah, we'll maybe get their picture to come up on you. I'll have a fuck about with that and see if I can get that going, and then we'll have fucking we'll see if we can get about 12 on now. But yeah, mate,
get your rooms.
It's always a pleasure speaking to you, and I mean, is there anything you want to say to anybody? Any information, anything you got coming up?
Just want to say well done to the lads at Phuck last night, including Ben Black and Scott McHugh on his show. Ben Black did well. One of my pals. He got beat on a bit of an eye scratch, but it just happened. But he took the loss well, and I've been coaching, but he didn't box so much. He just reacted instead of responded. He got a few shots thrown at him in a bit of a brawl and back. But that, and obviously to the lads last night, Dan McGrath and Josh Courtney and there's quite a few lads. If I'm honest with you, I just want to say that they're all fought valiantly and they got to the ring well and they enjoyed themselves and probably enjoyed themselves more still afterwards. But all them guys and just want to say, I just a bit of a personal one for me. Just want to say I love you, little man, my little boy, and I hope to see you soon.
Nice, mate. Nice. Well, it's always a pleasure, mate. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and you're the top bloke. You're full of useful information, mate. Every time we get together, I always learn a little bit from you. Basically, I just wanted to thank all my listeners, my customers. Just thank you for the support, guys. You've been brilliant over the last, with the viewers over the last year, because I only set this up in December. No, was it December? January. So it's not quite a year yet, but and all my customers, I mean, you couldn't ask for better customers and listeners, really. So I want to thank you guys. Wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your family time, and listen to me. Christmas isn't about the presents. It's about spending time with your loved ones. That's what it's about. But right. It is, guys. Listen,
have a great festive season with family and friends. Yeah. And don't worry about coughing on each other. It's all a big bullshit.
Yeah, well, hey guys, listen, this is Walsh Appening. It's good to be back. This is Smudger. And it's a pleasure, guys. I'll catch you soon, right? This is Walsh Appening. Take it easy, guys. Love you, mate. Much love.